Ambassador, thank you so much. First, what is your reaction to Prigozhin's tirade against the Kremlin?
Thank you, Andrea, for having me. Well, regardless of what fights do they have between themselves and who does not give ammunition to whom, we just have to remember that all of them, whether it's Wagner Group or it's regular troops, are war criminals that are on our sovereign country, killing, raping, and doing all the war crimes. And they have no business to be there. So I hope people in Kremlin would listen to one of these commanders or whatever they call him, and will realize that they have to leave Ukraine. They have to stop their brutal aggression, their brutal war, and leave. Let's not underestimate. Maybe they're not given something to Wagner groups, but they still have a lot of troops and they still have a lot of ammunition. That's why, and we still have to liberate a lot of Ukrainian territory and save Ukrainian people and return Ukrainian children. So we should stay focused on, more support, more weapons, whoever can help us to be prepared and to liberate more of our territories.
Ambassador, the U.S. had warned against getting trapped in Bakhmut because of the overwhelming force they thought from Russia, and that it was a stalemate for months. There have been terrible losses on both sides. Is it possible, do you think, that you can hold Bakhmut, that they will retreat?
Well, unfortunately, I wouldn't even call it a stalemate because it was very, very heavy fighting. And our brave defenders are not only defending Bakhmut, but essentially a very long front line. It's also other towns and cities and villages there. And we have been able to already defend that for such a long time. And we intend to do that because, again, as we discussed before, every inch of our territory that is not ours but under Russian occupation means horrific atrocities and war crimes that are directed against all of our people there. So the faster and the more we can liberate and the more we can hold in preparing for the liberation, that's the only way for us. So it is difficult. And we pray for all of our brave defenders who are on the front lines day and night, defending the country and defending our loved ones.
Russia has, of course, just the day before yesterday, accused Ukraine of 2 drones that they said were attacking and targeting the Kremlin, targeting Vladimir Putin, who was not there. There was no evidence to their charge, but blaming Ukraine. And then a day later saying that the U.S. had helped Ukraine with this targeting, with intelligence. Is there any truth to any of that? Did Ukraine have any involvement with those drones?
First of all, Ukraine is in no way involved in that. We have been very clear about that. But think about the irony of that. The autocratic criminal country that 436 days reinvaded Ukraine, started a full-fledged war against our country that has done unbelievable destruction, destroyed so many already towns and cities, killed so many people, committed horrible crimes everywhere in Ukraine. And the whole world have seen it, have seen what they've done in Bucha, in Kherson, in Mariupol, and other places. And they continue to have that unjustified, unprovoked, completely unfair war. They somehow come up with all these lies and try to say that we did something wrong to them. Well, first of all, again, we did not do anything of that. But talking about Putin and other war criminals, as you know, we work really hard with all of our partners to actually hold them accountable and to get justice for our people. And there is arrest warrant for Putin. So, yes, he should pay for what he's done, but he should pay by finishing at the bench in The Hague or in any other location where he will be held accountable for all the war crimes and for the crime of aggression.
Former Russian president and former Prime Minister Medvedev said that this attack that they claimed was targeting Vladimir Putin meant that the retaliation should be eliminating President Zelensky, to physically eliminate President Zelensky.
I don't even know how to comment that. They at the beginning of this, again, unfair aggression and war, They have tried already specifically to target our president. Our brave president is and was in Kiev from the day one, defending together with Ukrainian people our country. And I think the Russian officials should think about their fate and justice and how they will be held accountable rather than threatening a president of a neighboring country that never has done anything bad to them. So, I mean, I think we just have to keep focus on winning this one because it's very important, not only for Ukraine, but for all of us who believe in democracy. We have to win this war, regardless of what Russia lies about.
Ambassador, Secretary Blinken said the other day that China and its new envoy to Ukraine could be helpful in resolving it in some way, perhaps getting negotiations started or persuading Vladimir Putin that the war is not winnable from his perspective. How do you view the envoy and the possibility of China being a mediator here?
We like the last part, the persuading of Russians to get out. I mean, our president has been very clear, in his public communication and on the phone call also, that, we have the peace formula. The President Zelensky suggested our peace formula on how to return to peace quicker, and nobody wants peace more than Ukraine, but it has to be just peace. And it's very clear from our peace formula how it has to be. And first and foremost, Russia have to stop its aggressive war and get out from our country. So whatever country can help conveying that message to Russia, of course, we would be grateful. And on the phone call between our president and the Chinese leader, our president has been very also clear about the content of this peace formula, that we really want peace, but there could be no peace at the expense of the territorial compromises. We unfortunately have done that in the past, and Russians have shown how they only use any pause in order to get themselves together to attack us again. But also our president emphasized that it's very important for all the countries, especially those who believe in territorial integrity and UN principles, to refrain from supporting Russia in this war. And I think that it's a very clear message. We want peace, but we want just and lasting peace. And it's impossible to reach that without Russia stopping its aggressive war and getting out, and then justice to be served, and then all other 10 steps that our president put in Ukraine's peace formula.